I'm not a rebuild guy. There is no rebuild here. To be honest with you, we're coming here to win the American. You know, we reached out to all of those in the state of Florida multiple times and we're turned down. We're probably, one of 10 teams that plays extremely similar to the NBA.
So Coach, with 18 years of coaching experience at the collegiate level, why did you think USF was the right next step in your career at this point?
Yeah, I really felt like it fits me. I really feel like this is a place that in a couple of years people are going to say, man, where did they come from? We have all the infrastructure, we have everything we need to be a power in college basketball, and I really want to be a part of that growth process. And it truly is a special place. And Coach Amir proved that out of the gate by winning this league in his first year here, and we just want to build on that.
Now, I know you haven't been here long, but what about Tampa excites you so far?
Everything. Where do you want me to start? The weather, the restaurants, the beach. Got to Father's Day, got to get onto the beach with the little guy and Jordan. And,
awesome.
But it's just a beautiful place. I mean, you've got professional sports, you got great college sports, you've got pretty much anything you want. You can get right here in Tampa, Florida.
Amazing. Now you have a passion for the sport, you have a passion for people and community. Why did you choose this career, and what were some of your influences growing up that led you to the point you're at today?
Yeah, I fell in love with the game of basketball as a young kid. Grew up in the foster care system, was adopted, and in that home there was times where we had 14 kids in the house, and so my kind of peace was to go outside and shoot hoops in our driveway, and fell in love with the game by doing that. My older brother was on an academic scholarship at St. Bonaventure University and took me to my first Division I game there, and fell in love with it. And just the being able to coach and mentor the game that I love, while also being able to connect with people on a daily basis is a perfect world for me.
Who were some of your idols growing up?
Was a big Shaquille O'Neal fan.
Okay.
Shaq, to me, most dominant player to ever play the game. Big difference between best player, but most dominant player to ever play the game. So probably starting with Shaq, and then it's funny, no one else would ever have this answer, but guys from that St. Bonaventure team that I got to grow up watching, Tim Wynn and Caswell Cyrus, Shandu McNeil, those guys were a big deal to me when I was a little kid.
So Coach, truth is your mantra for this season. What does truth mean to you and this team specifically?
Obviously it's an acronym that Coach Amir created, but the word itself is actually, and one of the reasons we kept it, to honor Coach Amir and the foundation he laid, but also it was actually a part of our core values at Arkansas State. And we talk about it all the time. Truth, in a lot of ways, is obviously, A, the right thing to do, and B, powerful, right? And so I tell our athletes all the time, I'm always going to be honest with you. The good, the bad, the ugly. The best thing that I could ever do for you as your coach is to be honest with you about my expectations for you, about your development, our plan for you. And that way, if you're honest with me, we always know what we're going to get from one another. And so it's a big deal, I think, especially in the changing landscape in college athletics. Honesty is going to go a long way and give you the best chance at having some roster continuity.
This time next year, when you look back at your first season as the Bulls head coach, what do you hope to have accomplished?
I don't want to put the carriage before the horse, but I came here to win. I'm not a rebuild guy. There is no rebuild here. They won this league the year before last, and I believe probably would have had a chance last year. But to be honest with you, we're coming here to win the American, and so that's our goal this year. I don't want to make light of that and act like, hey, we just want to be competitive or put a number of wins behind it. We built a team that I feel can win this league, and that's what we want to do, and that's going to be our goal.
What are the roots of your analytical approach, and how has that been incorporated into your coaching style?
Yeah, so my mentor is Nate Oates, head coach at University of Alabama, and one of the best in the business right now, coming off an Elite Eight, Final Four the year before that. We spent 4 years together at Buffalo, 4 years together at University of Alabama, and in those 8 years, we won a lot of basketball games together, and 7 championships. And that whole time, everything we did was based on analytics, one of the best part about analytics is there's no human error, right? It's numbers. And so if you watch the NBA, you turn on the finals, everything in the NBA is a very heavy analytical approach. And it basically teaches you the most efficient way to play the game of basketball. And that's what we want to do. And I also think that it's huge for our players because it gives them essentially guidelines for them to be successful, right? What's the highest percentage shot for them? And so Nate Oates is about as analytical as it gets in college basketball, and probably one of the reasons he's had the most efficient offense in college basketball over the course of the last 6 years. We had the most efficient offense in the history of the Sun Belt the last 2 seasons in a row, and we're looking to do the same thing here.
Can you give us an example of a stat or a metric that you value that might surprise some fans?
Yeah, we look at expected shot value. And you'll see in my press conferences this year, post-game, pre-game, you'll hear me talk a lot about and use acronyms that probably most people in our fan base aren't familiar with, but they'll come to learn. But expected shot value is obviously exactly like it sounds. It's what we expect when we take certain shots, and basically the percentage chance to make that shot. And so we teach our guys over the course of the summer and the fall on what shots to take based on expected shot value. We want to take a lot of at the rim shots, threes, and free throws, and those are the 3 most efficient shots in the game of basketball, and we aim to really take as many of those 3 as we can.
You have coached 12 players that have gone on to play in the NBA. What did you see in them that others missed, and how did that work into your analytical approach?
Yeah, to be honest with you, as cliche as it sounds, it's exactly what you think. Hard work, determination, and a level of professionalism. We had a couple down here to visit already. Herb Jones was here last week, and he comes to mind when you ask that question. Probably one of the hardest working young men I've ever been around. His professional approach on a daily basis, the way he took care of his body, his nutrition, his workouts. You have to do that, and there is no secret recipe. It's literally those things, right? You've got to have a mindset that you want to do it. You've got to have that professional approach, and you've got to work. I mean, there's nobody that's in the NBA right now that doesn't work, and I would tell you all 12 of those guys have that in common.
What's the process like of simultaneously maximizing a player's college career while also preparing them for the next level?
Yeah, I think that's something that's special about the way that we play. We're probably, one of 10 teams that plays extremely similar to the NBA. Style of play, the analytical approach that we've talked about, our player development. And so we base a lot of things off the way the NBA operates. And so I really think that, coming here, our guys, by doing their day-to-day with us here at South Florida, they're getting a taste of that, and they're preparing themselves. I would go as far as saying the guys that I've had, that I've coached, that have been fortunate enough to play in the NBA, they've had a lot of success when they got there because of the way we did things at Alabama. What's
your mindset when building a non-conference schedule?
I want it to be as tough as we possibly can make it. You'll see here as it starts to get announced. I would venture to say it's probably one of the toughest non-conference schedules that South Florida men's basketball has seen. I have to specify men's because Coach Jose's non-conference schedule is about as difficult as it gets. And he's got great relationships that obviously allow that. We reached out to pretty much everybody in the so-called Power 4 conference, and I'm going to go ahead and say it here on video. We reached out to all of those in the state of Florida multiple times, and were turned down on playing games, even neutral site games. So, but we want to play the best competition that we can. We'll play home, away, neutral, doesn't matter. I firmly believe, A, we need to put ourselves in a position to receive an at-large bid. B, we want to challenge ourselves so that by the time we get to conference play, we're clicking and firing on all cylinders.
How did you develop that approach?
Again, I go back to my mentor. You'll hear me say his name a lot, Nate Oates. You look at his what he does in the non-conference over the 8 years I worked for him, and then the last 2. And perfect example, he's one of only 2 P4s that was willing to play us this year. and he's done it every year. We went and played him last year at Arkansas State when no one else would play us. We lost by 9 at their place, but he turned around and signed up for that game again. He plays the most challenging schedule that he can put together on paper, because again, I mean, that we talk about running towards uncomfortability, being in tight basketball games, having to play from behind, having to play on the road in a tough environment. All those things are going to ultimately prepare you for your conference schedule, which we all know is what's important.
So you have some familiar faces and some fresh faces on your coaching staff. What qualities were you looking for when building this staff at USF?
Passion and loyalty. I want guys that are passionate about helping young men grow, teaching them the game of the basketball, helping them develop into the player they want to be, and passionate about us as a program. And then to me, loyalty is so big. Like we spend a ton of time together. I unfortunately spend more time with my staff than I do my family, and for a lot of the year at least. So just I'm big on being where your feet are, and it's a little easier in Tampa, Florida. I can tell you that. You guys want to be here, but loyalty to our program, this university, that's big, and so we have that on our staff. We're a very connected group. I have 15 plus 20-year-long relationships with most of them and worked with most of them previously, and so very excited about that.
Awesome. Well, I have some fun ones for you now, Coach.
Okay, great.
Do you have a favorite spot in Tampa so far?
Favorite spot in Tampa? I have a couple. I will, obviously, I know I'm supposed to probably give you one. I can't give you one yet.
Let's hear it.
I like, of course, Columbia and Ulele are phenomenal.
Yeah, can't beat it.
I actually got to eat at the Columbia and out by Longboat Key this weekend. Phenomenal. But also, we became big fans of Salt Shack down on the water.
Yeah. I feel you.
But
Same.
now there's a Duff's open, which if you don't know what Duff's is, it's Buffalo chicken wings.
Okay.
It's originated in Buffalo. I'm from Buffalo. They opened one here in Tampa. So I have a feeling that might become my new favorite
Your spot. I love it. Do you collect anything?
Yeah, I collect a few things. I collect bourbon. Just something I've kind of taken a liking to, finding rare bourbons, collecting them. I collect autographed memorabilia, mostly stuff that has significance to me, not just anything.
Cool.
So some stuff from like my favorite movies, my favorite athletes. I've got autographs from all my favorite athletes for the most part up until this point. And then I'm a watch guy, so I collect some watches as well.
Now I know family is so important. In what ways does your family's support impact you?
Yeah, it means the world to me. My mom and dad from a young age taught me that I could do anything that I wanted to and put my mind to, and don't take no for an answer. And I really believe that's how I've made it here. I've kind of beat down doors and didn't take no for an answer, and I knew this is what I wanted to do, and their support means the world to me.
Amazing. I know we all cannot wait for the season. Thank you so much for the time today. Appreciate it.
Thank you. What's up?